going on, everybody? It is December 1st, Monday. Welcome back to the Coin Zone. As you guys know, I'm your host, Crypto with Paul. Appreciate you guys for tapping in. We had some technical difficulties earlier, so I apologize for not kicking it off an hour sooner. But listen, guys, I am still back in New Jersey. I will be back into the office setting with the normal setup, sharing my screen in a little bit, so stay tuned. But in the meantime, guys, we need to be discussing what is going on tonight. Jerome Powell will be making a speech. Quantitative tightening will be ending. There is a lot that will be happening towards the end of the year here into 2026 that I think could be really, really bullish. So guys, stay tuned. And that's what we're going to discuss here today. So make sure to hit that like button on the way in. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Let's get right into this. All right, I'm going to be going off my phone today. All you guys joining just now, just again, real quick, still in Jersey, back home. I'll be back into the office very soon this week, sharing my screen back with the normal live streams. But in the meantime, let's get right to what's going on with Jerome Powell and the Fed. So Jerome Powell will be speaking tonight. All right, I want to look at a tweet by Dan Gambardello. Shout out to Crypto Capital Venture. Great channel. Go follow his channel, guys, for sure. But let's get right into this, ladies and gents. So Crypto Capital Venture tweeted earlier this morning, there are a lot of things that we can be very, very bullish about. A ton of catalysts that are coming up, a ton of crazy things that are going to be happening towards the end of the year into 2026. So what are those things that we're talking about? Well, number one, guys, the quantitative tightening is coming to an end. That is super, super, super bullish for risk on assets, big for the crypto space. So number one, not sure. This is again, guys, from Dan Gambardello. All right, I unfortunately can't share my screen, so this is how we're rocking it just again today. And then we'll be back in the office, back to normal here pretty soon. So Dan Gambardello, not sure where the short term takes us, but here's an extensive look at why I'm not going anywhere and why I'm positioning myself in the best way I can for what's coming in crypto. I'm not bullish for no reason. There are reasons, a lot of them. There are a lot, and he lists all of them, and we're going to run through them right now. All right, guys, so hit that like button on the way in. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel here. Let's get right into this. So in this game, I think patient capital wins. This is just my crypto journey. Now, here we go. Number one, guys, Fed rate cuts likely for December. Okay, it is December 1st. 1 month left of the year. Okay, so we'll see what happens. This could be a very, very interesting, tumultuous month. So stay tuned. Don't get shaken out. 2026 could be massive. Okay, QT ends December 1st. That's today. Liquidity drain finally stops. Number two, the PMI cycle expansion is coming. Historically, when risk assets explode. Okay, number three, quantitative easing revival set for Q1 2026, meaning fresh money printing on deck. We can also see Ray Dalio's easing into a bubble, quote unquote. Ray Dalio has talked about these things extensively for a very long time. Okay, number five, global liquidity at all-time highs. Yes. All right, we see nations, China, etc., printing. 80% plus of major economies are easing. Number six, U.S. stimulus likely. 600 billion potential retail inflow. We already heard Donald Trump saying maybe in mid-2026, individuals making less than 100K a year will get a $2,000 stimmy check based off of tariff revenue, not inflationary. So that is a big thing to point out right there. Number seven, TGA drain underway. 100 to 150 billion in liquidity release. It's pretty damn big, guys. Number eight, Canada restarting quantitative easing adds to global liquidity wave. Number eight, global M2 exploding. Okay, monetary expansion everywhere. Yes, that is interesting. And we also see that chart, how Bitcoin follows it. M2 money supply, gold, and then Bitcoin. So will we see another spike? Obviously, we've seen this from gold. So normally what happens is Bitcoin follows. Number 10, the DXY weakening, capital rotation toward risk. 11, trueflation is cooling, green light for cuts. Yes, that is true. Trueflation is coming down. This is huge for risk on assets. The ISM manufacturing is ready to expand. Growth mode is loading. The U.S. economy projected to re-accelerate 2026 into 2027. Boom, set up. This is everything that our guy, front page in the news right now, David Sachs, has been working on, unfortunately, with hit pieces by the New York Times, doing a horrible job at accurately representing what is going on and obviously spreading false information about the guy. It's disheartening and upsetting to see because I think he's been doing a great job. Pro-crypto Fed chair likely. Yes, Donald Trump already announced, well, he might have a replacement. He's got him locked in, ready to go. Let's get rid of Jerome, too late, hard hat Powell, etc., whatever you want to call the guy. Let's get him out. Let's get somebody else in. US deregulation wave incoming, clearer rules, more adoption. Yes, guys, we just saw today, we have a report that Paul Graywall, chief financial officer of Coinbase, commented about Operation Choke Point 2.0. So, all right, we're getting Operation Choke Point 2.0 out of the way, stopping with all of that insanity. We're giving companies the green light. We're giving them the clarity. And that's exactly what we need, what the space and what these individuals and players have been asking for a long time. Bitcoin dominance dipping on fear. Capital quietly preparing to rotate to alts. That is one of the biggest indicators right there. That is one of the first metrics we have to look at when it comes to alt season is Bitcoin dominance. So something else that we've been waiting on for a long time. This has been a much different cycle this time, guys. Not everything goes exactly how history is. They say history rhymes and repeats, etc. Well, you can't always follow that. Plus the stuff almost nobody's talking about, and this is just kind of added bonuses here, guys. All right, once again, we are looking at a tweet by Dan Gambardello, Crypto Capital Venture. These are all things that are extremely bullish, good catalysts going into 2026 that could genuinely change the game. So let's keep it going. The RRP drained to zero. The 2.5 trillion liquidity buffer is gone. That is pretty big. The Fed balance sheet about to slope up even slightly. That direction matters more than level. Net liquidity inflecting higher. Okay, so the balance sheet, TGA, RRP are all flipping bullish. Look, we've had a very up and down year. We started 12 months ago, 13 months ago, around this time, 12, 13 months ago. Alts were going. Everyone thought the euphoria was soon. And then 2025, basically, we just went like this with alts. You know, Bitcoin's been in a bull run, right? But the rest has not followed as normal. So this is important stuff to focus on, because if we do want to see that Giga Chad, guys, you know, I'm sure some of us might be down real bad just waiting on the Giga Chad. Well, listen, guys, you're going to want to listen to all this, because these are indicators and things that could make things swing to a positive direction. So let's stay here. Japan is doing big things right now. Shout out to their new president, prime minister. Excuse me, I don't know the correct definition there. Japan, YCC unwind, a liquidity leak, capital flowing outward. Yet Japan has kept, like, I think, cheap interest rates for a while. Money was cheap. Things are changing. They're now also mining Bitcoin as well. Very interesting to see. China's stimulus wave. Liquidity is spilling into global risk. China with the stimulus. China also just said that they will not be allowing what is going on basically with cryptocurrency in China, which, like, is nonsense to me. Who cares? They say things yes, no, maybe so with it all the time. I don't even care. Hey, what's up? I'm 42 years old. That being said, what the hell is a Giga Chad? Chief the Orchid, we love you, brother. Glad to see you tapping in with us again. Well, it is definitely a Gen Z term. There's the Giga Chad meme, right? With that dude with the chiseled jaw. I guess good looking guy, whatever, however Gen Z wants to play this, right? The Giga Chad bull run is when you see those euphoric, insane gains, the peak, the absolute peak, when, you know, we see 10x's, 20x's, 30x's, 50, 100, etc., whatever. That's the Giga Chad bull run, Chief. I'm glad you had the question. We love it. Couple more things here, guys. Let's run through it. Household liquidity is still elevated. Retail dry powder intact. I wouldn't necessarily really agree with that one. I think a lot of people are tapped out. I think right now people have, you know, they want to get in, but they just don't have money. It's tough. You know, in the United States, the cost of living has not really come down. And elsewhere, it's tough, guys. It's a tough time right now. Shout out to the Oracle. What's good, brother? Appreciate you tapping back in. Always love to see it. Happy Monday. My Facebook profile picture is the definition of a Giga Chad. We love to see it. So, Chief, if you want to see that, go check out the Oracle's Facebook page. Love to see it. A couple other things here as we wind down, guys. AI CapEx demand shock. There's a productivity boom, PMI expansion. These are all massive things. And this isn't even to mention, really, that's the last one here we roll into. The PMI cycle expansion is coming. Historically, when risk assets explode, put this twice because it's one of my favorites. Shout out to Dan Gambardello, guys. And if you want to look at a great visual here, go check out Dan's visual. Okay. Monetary and fiscal setup, we have the macro data aligning and the liquidity plumbing. Now, when it comes to macro data, guys, this is why I always say to zoom out. A lot of this micro stuff doesn't matter. Even some of the positive news around altcoins too. There were so many narratives coming out, for top altcoins last 12, 13 months ago, right? November, December, when prices were actually going up pretty nice, when some projects were up over 100%, over 200%. Some are up over 300%. XRP was up over 400%, right? Things were going good at that time, 12, 13 months ago. A lot of bullish news stories came out about some of these projects, and it didn't really do much, right? So again, the macro stuff is more important. I think as we do on this channel, dissecting some of these charts and some of this data is super important, but it's also the sentiment as well. When it comes to this, you have to look at all angles and sides. It can't just solely be about just charts, or it can't just solely be about just, a feel and narratives and sentiment. There has to be a combination of all these things, for the entire market to go towards an upswing. I'm not saying any project can have their own thing going on. We see Zcash. Again, XRP's had a great year as other projects fell below actually having a positive return, or some are up really nice. And then, towards the end of the year now, barely up for the year, including Bitcoin, guys. So XRP holders, you guys are doing good. A lot of us are probably upset, struggling. See what happens. We're all waiting, right, for the Giga Chad. But those were just some metrics and things that Dan pointed out, and a couple of those things that I thought were super important, super key to talk about. But just listing all of them in general too is important to see, because it's a lot of data, guys. It's a lot of different things that you can pull from to try to understand and try to make sense of these markets. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people were wrong. A lot of people thought 2025 was going to be the year based off of the 4-year halvings. But, it turns out we might have been wrong when looking at that chart. Historically, it's not so much about the 4-year halvings. It's more about liquidity cycles. So if we dive more into that research as we have, we looked at that last week on a couple lives. Things do line up. Things do make sense. Not to just, spit out a bit of hopium here, guys, but this is what we do here, and this is what we will continue doing here on the Coin Zone. So if you guys like this style of content, again, guys, this is a little different from the normal lives that you see from me in the Coin Zone here. I'll be back into the Arizona office in a couple days, guys, so stay tuned for that. But I appreciate you guys for tapping in the meantime, and make sure to stick around, okay? And put your notifications on. We have Jerome Powell speaking tonight, and we will probably, most likely, probably certain, see the end of quantitative tightening. So QE's coming, super, super positive, super bullish for risk on assets. Especially if we get another rate cut too, which will also be announced in December. I mean, we didn't even talk about that as well. I don't even believe, if JP, Jerome Powell, Mr. Hard Hat, announces that as well, 25, maybe 50. If it was 50, I think that would be pretty crazy. But we'll see, guys. So stay tuned. December could be a very big month. I think 2026, we will see a turnaround. Absolutely. That is really all I have for you guys. Today, I'll be back later as well, so make sure to stick around. And I appreciate all you guys for tapping in. As you know, this is the Coin Zone. I'm your host, Crypto with Paul. If you haven't followed us yet on social medias, just at the Coin Zone, I believe, at Crypto with Paul. That's me. Make sure to sub to us here on YouTube. If you're watching on X right now, just go ahead and hit that follow. We got a ton of amazing interviews for you guys coming up. 2 that are coming out this week, so stay tuned for those. They're going to be amazing. I promise you. 2 one channel favorite you guys know and are very familiar with, so stay tuned with that one. And then a new face that you guys are going to love. Now, this person has a big position. They speak at conferences around the world. Amazing person to listen to. I had such a good time interviewing her last week here on the Coin Zone. So stick around for that, guys. Make sure to sub on YouTube in the meantime. Like I said, hit the like button on this video if you felt like you got value from it. Once again, I'm Crypto with Paul. You're watching the Coin Zone, and I will see you guys again shortly. Take care, guys.